So Elon Musk has been on a tear recently, unbanning a lot of people from Twitter. Now, there's a whole lot of chaos going on at Twitter now. So many people have left. You know, he fired 50% of the workforce, which is thousands of people. And then of the people who remained, he sent a letter basically saying, look, you have to work from the office and also be prepared to work insane hours because we're going to bust our ass here. And then a huge percentage of the people who remained also left. And so some of the critical infrastructure people at Twitter are now gone. And so it's a little bit of a scramble behind the scenes. And there are all sorts of concerns like, what the fuck is going to happen from here? Is Twitter even going to work without some of these people who are there to do the upkeep? Well, at least as of right now, it's still functioning, right? And who knows what's going to happen in the long run? No need to speculate right now. Anyway, but Elon Musk he did turn around and say, unbanning Jordan Peterson, unbanning the Babylon Bee, unbanning Donald Trump, unbanning Kathy Griffin, unbanning. There are a bunch of others that he's unbanned as well. But Elon tweeted, "What should I do next?" He said, "What should Twitter do next?" Actually, and somebody says, "Bring back Alex Jones." Elon responds with, "No." Huh? Interesting. That's. I mean. Look, he originally said we're going to have like a council decide who we're going to unban. There will be no mass unbannings. Then he never put together any sort of council or committee, and he just brought all these people back. But here he's asked about Alex Jones. He's just like, no, I'm not going to bring him back. So a lot of his own supporters here turned on him and were like, well, then you really don't believe in free speech. You're doing this whole like, I'm just going off of a whim. Whatever my personal feelings are, I'm gonna act on that. And by the way, look, there is more evidence for that position as well, because remember, he said comedy's now legal on Twitter, and then he started banning people for doing parodies of him. And so he changed the rule from comedy is legal to like, actually you need to show clearly that you're a parody in your display name. And then even some people who put parody in the display name, they still got banned for making fun of Elon Musk. So H3H3, Ethan Klein, he got banned when he was making fun of when Ethan Klein was making fun of Elon Musk, he got banned, even though he had parody in his name. Anyway, so it's like the whims of a billionaire is really how he's making a lot of these decisions. Agree or disagree with him, that's the way he's getting there. Okay, so Alex Jones comes out and responds to Elon Musk because he sees this. Let's watch.
Question today, what should Twitter do next? And the resounding response by Twitter, tens of thousands of responses was, bring back Alex Jones, bring back Donald Trump. And to the question of bring back Alex Jones, he responded back and said no. Now, do I blame Elon Musk for this? No, ladies and gentlemen. And quite frankly, I don't care if I get brought back to Twitter. I care about any of these big tech platforms going back to free speech and back to the way the internet was 4 years ago before this reign of surveillance and censorship. Because this isn't just censorship. They're surveilling everything you say in live time, not just on Twitter, but Google, Facebook, all of it in live time. This is criminal. Even Senator Josh Hawley yesterday brought this up to the head of DHS Mayorkas and said, you're helping run the censorship and you're surveilling the American people and telling big tech who to censor. So Elon Musk has the EU threatening him not to bring back Alex Jones and Donald Trump. He has DHS behind the scenes with a bunch of moles inside his organization. There's a question right now on whether Twitter will even be able to continue on to the future because all of the sabotage. So as I said in the last month with this buildup, I want to see Twitter freed overall first and to see if Musk can even get control of it before we talk about Donald Trump or Alex Jones being brought back.
Okay, so since Alex Jones did this response, of course, Donald Trump was brought back. But you know who still wasn't? Alex Jones. Now, look, he's sort of like treading carefully. He doesn't go nuclear on Elon Musk. And I think the reason why he's treading carefully is, number one, he still wants to be brought back on Twitter. And number two, Elon Musk has a very strong fan base, and now it's predominantly people who lean right. And so there's probably some overlap there between, Musk and Alex Jones types. And not to say they're totally the same, because they're not. There's a big difference, right? But there's some overlap there. And so I think he's treading carefully because he knows that this guy has a halo around him in certain halo over his head in certain forums. And so wanting to be brought back on and knowing this guy's got a strong fan base, he's sort of reeling it in a little bit with his reaction. But I like how, what does Alex do? He brings up this conspiracy about why Elon is not acting on that yet. And he basically says he's being pressured by the EU. He's being pressured by the DHS. Like, so the deep state is like pressuring him. I don't blame him. He's being pressured by them. And, here's the reality, because Elon actually spoke on it. So, click this here. Sam Harris said this. Is it time to let Alex Jones back on Twitter, Elon Musk? If not, why not? Elon Musk says, suffer little children and forbid them not to come unto me. For of such is the kingdom of heaven. So, okay, that's a weird response, but he gets a little more specific here. Let me show you the next one. He said, my firstborn child died in my arms. I felt his last heartbeat. I have no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame. So, in other words, ain't no EU plot or Department of Homeland Security plot. He's not feeling any pressure from the deep state or the government. He's a billionaire who's making policy decisions in real time, and oftentimes it goes based on his gut or a whim. And this is an instance where he happens to have a very strong opinion because of personal experience. And so he knows what happened with Alex Jones. He saw the court case. He know what. By the way, what is even the number now that Alex Jones has to pay out? I think I may have literally seen it's like over $1 trillion now. Like, which, by the way, of course that's not possible. He'll never be able to pay all that money back. But like, so anyway, he was found guilty of defamation. And for those of you who don't remember the specifics of that, one family had to move, I think it was more than 6 times to get away from Alex Jones fans harassing them around Sandy Hook, right? Another father killed himself after being harassed by Alex Jones fans who questioned Sandy Hook and called it a hoax. There's actually a video of one of Alex's coworkers basically doxing one of the families of one of the victims of Sandy Hook, and that, of course, led to harassment. One of the people who won one of the cases played for them their voicemails from Alex Jones fans, and these were like the even more unhinged Alex Jones fans, the ones that have real psychological issues, and they were, threatening them, and they went full anti-Semite and acted like they were part of the conspiracy or whatever, and people are going through this after their kids were massacred in a school shooting. And so I think that Elon Musk knows what happened with the case, knows he was found guilty, has zero sympathy for him, especially because he lost a child and he knows the pain. And so he's like, no, I'm not going to fucking bring you back. So I think he's telling the truth here in terms of like why he wouldn't bring Alex Jones back. Now, is it possible he changed his mind? Sure. I mean, I've seen this guy, fold to public sentiment before. If enough people are mad at him in his Twitter mentions, so he might actually buckle. But I think that is why he's doing it. But look, it does go to show, and if, Shoe on Head said this on Twitter. I think it's fair. It does go to show he is making these decisions based on a complete and utter whim. For the Donald Trump one, he did a poll, and it was like 51.8% in favor of bringing Trump back. So he's like, okay, I'll just leave it up to the people. Let the people decide. Okay, that's not how a right works. That's not how free speech works. You don't vote on whether or not somebody should have the right to free speech. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of a constitutional right, is that you protect the rights of the minority from the majority. You can have a majority of people say this unpopular opinion should be banned. Does that mean it actually should be banned? No. So the way a right works is supposed to be different. Now, of course, we all know Twitter is not, you don't actually have a right to free speech on Twitter. It's a private company. Technically, they could kick you off for whatever fucking reason or non-reason they want, right? But my position all along has always been, you should regulate Twitter and all the other big social media outlets like they're public utilities and treat them like the public square. Expand this notion of the public square to include the big social media companies so that we do actually have more free speech protections. That's my opinion on it. And I said this about the Donald Trump being brought back. Look, I don't like it personally because he's gonna you just feel like the world is more unstable and it's more of a headache. You're always on edge now. But at the same time, as a matter of principle, it was the right thing to do. Because how are you going to have Taliban operatives, Taliban leaders on Twitter, foreign dictators on Twitter, but you don't have Trump? There is no real consistent logic there. It's very selective how they enforce the terms of service anyway, right? So, interesting, though, that he stopped short of Alex Jones. But I will say this, even just the people he already brought back, whether it was the right thing or the wrong thing, what I know will happen is more advertisers are going to flee. I mean, there's going to be it's going to be, all you're going to get are ads on Twitter for like gold and silver and like guns. Like you're going to have all the advertisers that fund like One America News Network and Newsmax, the far right news, they're going to be the ones who are left. And so they're not going to be making all that much money on Twitter from advertisements. They never made that much to begin with, but it's going to get even worse because these advertisers don't want the chaos. They don't want, to have to worry about what giant problem is going to arise now on Twitter because somebody says some dumb shit. So yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. It looks like he's not going to cave on the Alex Jones thing. We'll have to wait and see, but he's doing it all based on whims. Agree or disagree with him on Trump or Alex Jones or any of the other ones, it's clearly just like his thought in the moment is going to dictate Twitter policy, and that's been the problem all along, is that he's very erratic. He throws like 10 new ideas against the wall. A lot of them are fucking terrible ideas, tanks the company a little bit, then goes back to the drawing board and does it again. And so expect this tumultuous ride to continue. All right, guys, that's the show, y'all. I love you very much. Everybody do me a big favor. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 1 million subsies. We're chipping away, slowly but surely climbing that mountain. Help us get there. If everybody who watches the channel did subscribe, we'd already be there. So hook a brother up. We're getting closer and closer. Leave a comment too. Click that little notification bell so that you know every time a video gets dropped. And of course, a massive, massive thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon, who supports Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. You guys make this work. And then don't forget, guys, you can listen to the podcast version of the full shows now if you're so inclined. If you'd like to watch the YouTube videos and keep seeing the fact that today I look like an Albanian club promoter, well then, keep coming back and I'll continue to be an Albanian club promoter. All right, guys, I love you very much. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.